Hello, and we are live. We are live with the lovely Tess Bridge. I'm a little bit biased because she is also my daughter, as well as a fantastic stylist. So we're going to talk about that today. But I've got Tess here on the Lockdown Lessons because she's going to talk about how to create something that is in everybody's mind right now. And what's that, Tess?
A home office or a home work.
Yeah, could just be a little cubby hole, or it could be just
on the stairs,
in a cupboard. Could be a makeshift, what used to be a dressing table. It could be a variety of different things, couldn't it? That people are struggling at the moment. An ironing board. Yeah. Didn't even think of that. I put a post on Facebook a couple of weeks ago to say, does anybody want to borrow a desk? Because I had a spare desk, and it's actually the same as one that you've got there.
Yeah.
And another estate agent needed to borrow it. So that was interesting.
Did you share?
I did share because I'm generous like that, and she's not a competitor. But she was working, bless her, she was working on her coffee table. So she's working on a sofa, coffee table, and a screen not just a laptop, sorry, an actual desktop with keyboard and everything leaning over. So we're going to talk about why that is not a good idea and how instead to create a really beautiful work from home space. But Tess, just introduce yourself first, because how did you learn to style in the first place?
So I worked for Ashdown Jones for 2 years, where I got all of my skills for styling and for making a home look beautiful. But from there, we have actually branched out and gone to a holiday management and concierge service for second homeowners and holiday homeowners. So it's a big long.
And what's that called?
It's called AJ Retreats.
Behind you. AJ Retreats. And AJ stands for Ashdown Jones, but it also stands for
Hannah Julian. So it's myself and Hannah that run at AJ Retreats. So that's the J, Jules,
that's right. And Hannah's got some very exciting news, hasn't she, which I'm now allowed to share. I'm going to be putting the post up today on Ashdown Jones, but what's the news?
She had her baby girl on, I can't remember.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
So. And she's called her
Elle,
which is lovely, isn't it? Andrea and Vic have both said hello. My neighbours are saying hello as well. That's lovely, really lovely news. So at the moment, she's not doing anything. Well, obviously, she's being a mum, but so it's falling on you. And given that all the holiday homes that we currently manage and are looking after are currently shut, what is it that you're doing from home at the moment, Tess?
Yeah, so I'm still doing lots of research, and I'm helping homeowners with any plans they have. I'm drawing up any buying lists they might want to buy, and it's a really good time now to get in and do any maintenance they might need to do on any property. So it is quite a helpful time. I
saw actually on my run this morning, I was running down through Bowness, and the ice cream shop, they're having their outside painted at the moment. So obviously they're, respecting social distancing and everything. So it's a really good thing to do, isn't it? Get on with the outside maintenance. It's completely safe. And even the internal maintenance, as long as that person's there on their own, that's safe as well. So it's a good time to get on with those kind of jobs that they normally can't do because they're normally booked up solid.
Yeah.
Now, there's lots of holiday home companies in the Lake District, of course. Very good ones, very well respected ones, but we're a little bit different, aren't we? I say we, you. It's mainly you, although we obviously co-own the business. It's, the work falls to you. I do appreciate that. But so, what is it that AJ Retreats do that's a little bit different from other holiday home companies?
Yeah, so we are a complete concierge service. So we offer other things that maybe other companies might not provide, such as sourcing and buying new furniture. Building flat pack, waiting for delivery, decorating, anything in between. So anything you might need. And
you've just completed a project, haven't you, in Union Street in Kendal, which some people might think wasn't actually an obvious holiday cottage. If you know Union Street in Kendal, a little two down terraces. But have you called it a cute name? I remember that
right. Cottage.
Valentine's Cottage, for goodness
sake. It's been really popular, obviously, before this.
It wouldn't have fooled me, but that's good marketing, isn't it? Valentine's Cottage. And so when it was handed to us or to you, it was a local business owner that bought it, and he bought it to turn it into a holiday cottage. Is that right?
He already rented it out, long-term letted it, and then he changed his mind. He wanted to actually go into the kind of holiday let side of it and see how well he could do that way.
And was there a big transition between permanent let and holiday let in terms of how the house was styled and, you know, the decor and stuff?
Well, all of the tenant took all the furniture, so it was completely empty. So he then needs to kit it out for under all the different regulations you have to have for a holiday let with fire extinguishers and things like that. So he got kitted out, and it took him maybe 2 weeks to do that. And then there wasn't much of a transition really, but we just had to get the necessary things.
And you had to do things like this, the styling for the photographs, get the photographer there, didn't you? And get all the online presence done, because you do it through Airbnb, don't you?
Yes, we do.
And there is an awful lot of really bad photographs on Airbnb,
really bad,
aren't there?
We got an amazing blue sky day, so the photos looked amazing. They really did. The owners.
Oh, that was really good. And you got bookings immediately.
Immediately, we had about 15 bookings within the first week, booked out throughout the year. So
what was you might not know this, and I've put you on the spot here, sorry, but what do you know what rent he was getting before?
Yes, I do.
For that holiday cottage. Oh, go on then.
He was getting £600 a month.
And what could he get now through Airbnb and our service?
Well, anything up over 1,000 really, if not more.
A month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We need
it's a lot, isn't it?
Well, it's a beautiful little house, and it's really well connected to the lakes and things. So I think it'd be really popular.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good little business actually, isn't it? And I think I can see how people would really be drawn to that, especially a couple wanting to be in Kendal. Yeah. So that's how you know your styling. That's what you do. That's what you're doing at home at the moment. We're going to talk about 5 tips to make your work from home space beautiful, because if you look behind Tess, what you can see is what most people's work from home spaces might look like before lockdown, perhaps. Well,
we've opted to work on our laptops on the sofa in the living room, so it's full of distractions and disturbances, and we've got the TV and things, so it's difficult to get it. You really need to separate home and work, so that's why I'm coming back into my second room what we've got at home. And we did actually buy a desk to start using for home office, but we haven't used it yet. So
you're in Kendal, aren't you? Just describe where you are.
Yeah, so we are just on the river above the K Village apartments in there. So
Riverside apartments. It's lovely. Yeah. But I can see that it could be very distracting working from home, especially if your partner is working from home as well, trying to get both done. So yeah, to have a dedicated office, which is actually your second bedroom, which is what a lot of people are using, an extra bedroom, a spare bedroom, can be really useful. But also, if you look at the space that Tess is using, that could actually even be a corridor, a corner of a living room. Ideally, it's a separate room, but it needs to be a separate space.
Back a bit so you can see.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on with our 5 tips then, Tess. And we've got matching chairs. You're going to come on to this, aren't you? But
we're going to come back
matching chairs. Going to come back to the chair.
Right, so step 1 was to designate space away from disturbances and any distractions at all. So that's away from children if you can, any maybe pets or anything, or partners, family can all stay away, and then you come away into your own separate little space that you can kind of designate just for working. So that's step 1.
Okay.
Step 2 was to clear away any clutter. So we're actually using it for to store our suitcases at the moment. So we'll just get rid of them. I'll just find somewhere else for them to live until we can go on holiday again.
What is the? You're probably going to talk about equipment and furniture and stuff, but what is the desk that you've got there?
This desk was, I think it was about £15 from IKEA. And then we bought the drawers that came separate, but you can buy the, I don't know if you can't quite see, but the legs there, they're all, I think they're £1.50 each from IKEA.
Yeah. It's super light, super cheap, and it doesn't take much to put together. The drawer unit, you can actually buy, you can just buy 4 legs if you want, but the drawer unit is a bit more solid, isn't it? But just show how it comes off as well, because you don't even have to fix it, do you?
No, so that's just, it's only kind of resting on the drawers, and then you just screw the legs on the other side, but it's manageable. So
it's super easy. So it's actually really flexible as well. So if you had 2, you could have 2, with 4 legs, and then 1 of those units in between. So if there's 2 of you trying to work from home, as there are in a lot of families at the moment, that would be useful as well. Okay, so step 1 was to designate a place and make it your own. Get rid of everything, all that rubbish that's in the corner, and make it yours, and make sure you prioritize it.
Step 2 was clear away clutter. So get rid of the suitcases. Step 3 is get everything you might need for the day. So what I've got here, which isn't the prettiest looking thing, but it's very practical and it helps. It's from IKEA. It was £7.50, I think, and that helps. So it's kind of just laptop support, so you're not straining your neck when you're looking down.
Yeah, they're really useful. They're also good, by the way, for Zoom, because I don't know if you notice on Zoom when people are looking down at the camera. So if you've got any Zoom meetings and all your 25 chins are going to show, I'm talking about myself here, whereas if you get it up high, I've actually got my laptop resting on a box at the moment, but that laptop rest is nearly as good, and it just tilts it a little bit, so it's a bit easier for you to use. You won't get neck strain, and you look a bit prettier.
Yeah, exactly. So have I got everything I need? Yeah, so let's get everything I need for the day. So I've got my laptop charger, anything that I might need. So I've got my diary, my notebook, and pens and everything.
Just so you feel a bit more organised, because actually if you were at work, you'd have all these around you. Whereas at home, you kind of go, oh, and I've not got this and I've not got that. And it's just about not being organised, isn't it? And not feeling productive.
And then after that, I've put step 4 would be to decorate with anything you might need. So I work quite well with a speaker. There's just some nice music on the background. And then I've got a candle as well. Bit of ambient.
Just show us your speaker, Tess.
Yeah. It's a Google Nest Mini.
So it's that tiny. That's very cute. It looks like a stone.
I know.
That's cool. And it connects to your music services, I presume.
It does, yeah. So it connects through Bluetooth. And I've got the charger for it as well in case that runs out of battery. And then I've just got some nice things to make it look a bit prettier.
Oh.
So make it a bit more of a...
You forgot. You've missed something, Tess.
That was my last step. I haven't got a hurdle up, but and then step 4 was to decorate, and step 5 was to get yourself a nice chair. And then I've actually got a cushion because I don't find it very comfortable.
Yeah, I've got a cushion behind me actually, because at work some of the chairs have got rests, or I find actually I've got a step underneath my desk to put my feet up on, because otherwise my legs get a bit tired during the day. And that's the kind of thing I have in the office, but I don't have it at home. And what do you girls all use in the office that you haven't shown? Do you remember?
Hot water bottle.
Oh.
All of us have our hot water bottles at the office. Just a bit cozier, even though it's not cold.
And actually, Maria was on Zoom the other day, and she had a hot water bottle at home still, so it was nice and cozy. But yeah, so anything that makes you feel cozy and productive, it looks pretty. It's a designated space. I think that's really important as well. You haven't just stolen it off somebody else. You're not trying to work on your kitchen table. You're not trying to work on your sofa. And I think that's really important. Now, lots of people. Oh, by the way, the chairs. In case you want to know where the chairs come from, I'm a big fan of a furniture place called Cult, CULT. It does some amazing furniture. These are not cheap, but they look very stylish and they're super comfy. And I think you told me how much they were, Tess, did you?
They were 160, but I didn't buy mine. Mine was a present from my mum. So, so I probably wouldn't recommend getting one.
When you say present, it kind of got stolen from my house.
It was a present moved out.
So actually, it's what we've just shown is some things are really cheap, like the desk, and some things were a little bit luxurious, like the chair. And I think the combination of the two is good. But a lot of people just use a dining room chair, don't they? And that's not good for sitting and working on, is it?
Not really, because you need to be able to, these kind of spring back quite a lot, but if you haven't got any movement at all, you're kind of just stuck in one place all day. You get really stiff, and it's not a nice place to work, and you'll just get achy. So it's best to get a chair, an office chair, if you can.
I think so. Now you've got something else behind you on the wall that we haven't talked about, that is pretty cool, isn't it?
So this is what did we call it?
Magic whiteboard.
Whiteboard. So it just peels off the back of it. It's like an adhesive back, and it peels off and then sticks to the wall anywhere, and then you can take it off and move it if you want, but it's just a whiteboard basically. So we just use this for at home. We've got kind of any information we might need to hand, login details and things. So it's really, really helpful to have if you're working from home. And then you can maybe...
And you don't necessarily want to screw something into the wall as well. I think that's useful, and not to have to, if that's strong enough to sit on, and then not have to use blue tack and that kind of thing. So we use it all the time in the office. We use it when we're planning. It's fantastic, and it comes in a I know that wasn't the one that you showed me, but the one that we use, which is, I think it's £25 for 25 sheets roughly from Amazon. It's called Magic Whiteboard. It comes in a blue rollout thing, looks like a bit of cling film but bigger, and then you can coat the walls with them because they're all together, and although they're perforated in A3s, you can just use the whole thing. So it's really, really useful. It's from, Andrea's asking where it came from, just from Amazon, Andrea. If you type in Magic Whiteboard, you'll find it straight away.
I think mine was cheaper recommend £25 though, and it's at the back of it's got lines on it, so you can cut nice straight lines, which is great.
Oh, that's good. So you cut yours to shape.
We cut mine, yeah, we cut ours.
That's a good idea as well. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah, and then you can plan a little bit on it, and you can, you know, write big notes on it. And I think they're just super useful. We've used them for all different kinds of things. We use them loads, don't we? Okay, so everybody today did what I asked them to do and posted a picture of their home offices. So Tess is going to give you all a little critique. So putting her on the spot here. So if you go onto my profile, Tess, you'll be able to see on my video I did this morning, you'll be able to see all the pictures. So we've got an upload from, let's have a look at the comments. We'll do them one at a time. The first one was Julie Hills, which is a bit of a cheat, actually. Can you see Julie's on there?
Fancy Julie's, yes.
So, yeah, so you won't be able to see this on here, but I'll just try and show you there you go. In fact, what I can do is I can spin this round and share my screen and show the pictures so while we're talking about them. So let me just do that now. 1 second. Hopefully you'll be able to see my screen in just a second. Let's get my screen up there. That's a bit weird because it's like picture in picture in picture, but let's just go. And it's just going to take a little while to scroll because it's trying to do so many jobs at once. A bit like me, really. There you go. So let's look at these comments here. So Julie Hill is a friend of ours down in the south. And what can you see? Oh, I've lost Julie's now. Maybe she put hers on first.
Hers was the first, yes.
There you go.
Julie lives in Dartmouth and she's got an amazing view, so it's a bit of a cheat, really.
A bit of a cheat home office, that one, isn't it?
It's nice.
She's looking.
Working outside.
She's actually watching one of our training videos as well.
Oh, is she?
And she's got a Firewave marketing planner next to her, which we created for her.
Okay.
So, but there is a little lesson here, isn't there? Which is you don't have to work inside. You can work outside in the fresh air.
I've got a big window here that I would always have open if I was to work in here. I think you need a bit of fresh air to boost your brain levels.
And yeah, keep you alert. Okay, so the next one is this one here, which is Ian's.
Oh, my second one down for me is Danny. Let me have a look at Ian. Ian Dart, is it?
Yes.
Okay. It's got quite a good space there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got lots of room.
I like the little character on the shelves.
Yeah, definitely. I like him. Is that a little speaker maybe that can sit on the side?
Could be. One thing I would say is you probably don't have much knee space, Ian.
Yeah.
You see,
He doesn't have a lot of space underneath the desk to get his legs in.
So he might just want to and I did say post it without tidying, so we're not gonna tell him to tidy. But he's got a good window there, and he's got a few post-it notes I can see, and a light as well. So I think overall that's pretty good. It's not the prettiest space I've ever seen, Ian.
Probably get a flower in there somewhere. Ian.
And I'm sure the shelves aren't really leaning over. Okay, who's your next one, Tess?
I've got Danny Thompson at the top. So.
Oh, hang on a minute. Let's go to Danny. Let's have a look. Where's Danny gone? This one. He's got a footballer on the wall.
I saw that. He's ready to plan what he's going to do in the evenings, though.
He's watching Sam Ashdown on his computer.
Wow. But he's got a nice little desk there. I quite like that.
He's got a nice chair as well.
Flower on the shelf as well.
Yeah, that's nice too.
I approve of this one.
If he didn't want to feel so hemmed in, he could move those DVDs. Who has DVDs these days, Danny? To a different part of the house, so he's got a bit more space. And actually, I'd be tempted to move. I don't know about you. What you think, Tess? Maybe across the corner instead, so he didn't feel like he was just facing a wall. You know, it just felt a bit more open.
Yeah, but then that would be nice. And maybe near a window if you can be near a window.
Yeah. Particularly if you're going to do any kind of zooms, facing a window is always good, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Who's next on your list?
And maybe let's have a look. Okay, I've got Ed Bennett.
Ed Bennett. Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Where is he? Here we are.
I'd clear Step away. I know we've said that. Step away from under your feet. Give yourself a bit more.
Ed, how can you? And it's got a dining room chair as well. Ed, how are you managing?
But it looks nice and cushioned chair, and it's next to a window.
Yeah, but he could do with like some kind of surface near him, because obviously he's not got a big enough surface. Even his keyboard doesn't fit on his surface. Bless him. So he's got nowhere to kind of make notes and be a bit more creative, I would say. Obviously, he's had to move this from the office because he's also an estate agent, by the way, Tess.
Right,
so he's had to take this from his office and try and make an office desk there. But I think he could probably spend a bit more time on it.
Maybe.
Oh, that's his printer. I've just realised.
Oh, it is. It is indeed. Right. Okay. Down from there. Amy Thompson.
Let's have a look, Amy. Amy runs Ion Cumbria.
On a chair, which I like. It looks
nice.
Even if it is
very pretty house.
Yeah, very nice house. And right next to a window as well, which is really good.
Yeah.
Let the
the only thing I would change there is maybe just get a comfier chair, because it looks comfy to sit in, but is it comfy to work in? And maybe think about.
Well, it doesn't look very comfy on the back, but maybe.
No.
But you've got a lot of working space surfaces.
Yeah, and it's nicely organised. Look at all that nice organisation.
Yeah.
So well done. She looks like she's got one of your speakers, a little black thing, if it is.
Oh, yeah, she has. We've got the same speaker, Amy.
She said needs to do a good tidy, she says. I think it's pretty good. And then have we got, so Dan is
Sarah.
Oh, she's got a very comfy chair. So she's a copywriter.
It's still being used as utility, laundry and playroom. Wow.
I can see that. And there's a fridge next to you, which is pretty handy.
Comfy chair. You've got and you've got a drink. You've got a lot of stuff around you, though. Yeah,
I would move the stuff from underneath the writing table, the stuff that's immediately underneath, so you can feel like you can move around a bit more freely. And I'm sure every time you turn around, you see that washing. So if you can try and get that out of your eyesight a little bit, you don't have to do it, just hide it.
Yeah, and playroom. So you've got Dylan there.
I think what let's just stop the share as well and go back to our pictures. What would you say to anybody who is kind of what's the word for it? Who isn't prioritizing their workspace at home? What's the disadvantage of not prioritizing your home workspace?
It's just difficult to motivate yourself if you don't separate, I think, work and home life. You've got everything going on at home, and then if you've got your laptop there, you can't concentrate and you can't motivate yourself to do any work. But if you take yourself away from any distractions and really try and focus on what you're doing, and I think it really helps motivate you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the elements we've talked about, like keeping it tidy, having little pretty things around, having everything you need, being next to a window, comfy chair, they're all actually just prioritizing yourself. And I think there's also a psychological advantage with having a proper workspace. So when I moved into this apartment, I didn't know at all that I was going to need a home office, but I still made one. So what was their second bedroom, which, because I'm just on one level, with a big window and nice high ceilings, it's lovely, that I commandeered this. Instead of being a guest room, I commandeered this as my home office. I had no idea I was going to need it, but because I prioritized it, it makes me feel more productive in here. So at the moment, you might have what I would call an apologetic corner. And I think what we're talking about is prioritizing it, aren't we?
Yeah. But I need to definitely move into here now. I've got a lovely workspace I can come and do some work in. So take myself away from it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then the TV becomes a treat, and it's not just on all the time, because I think when the TV's on, you're not really working, but you're not really watching TV. You're not doing anything well, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Sit in here now, do some work.
Now, Tess has an offer for you, which is if you send her a picture. Do you want to say it, Tess?
Remind me of the offer.
All right. The offer was that we just talked about before we're on air. She's forgotten already. Is, if you send a picture to Tess on AJ Retreats or to Tess Bridge on Facebook of any room in your house, she'll tell you, she'll give you some styling tips for it. Yeah. So nothing expensive, because she doesn't have many pennies to rub together, do you, Tess? Anyway, so her ideas are usually very cost effective and actually very effective. I mean, even the things that you've got on your desk now are just cheap little extras, aren't they? But they make a big difference.
This plant here was, I think, £3 for the plant from IKEA, and then this was £1.75, and that just makes such a difference. And you can actually put them online still. So.
And what we do sometimes when we're styling a room is, or what you do is, sometimes you get 3 of those, don't you, and put them on a windowsill or something, so they look a bit like herbs and just look really nice, don't they?
All over our apartment. They make a really nice
Yeah.
room.
So she won't necessarily tell you to spend loads of money, hopefully.
No.
She'll just tell you how to repurpose things or how to just make it a bit more effective. Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for your time today, Tess.
Thank you very much.
I bet you're looking forward to working from your new home office now that you've just managed to repurpose.
Looking forward to
It's funny, when you first moved in, you were actually intending to use this, weren't you? And then it kind of just got a bit of a dumping ground. You ended up in front of the TV, and now you're going to go back to it as well. All right. Well, thank you very much indeed. And yeah, get your pictures over to Tess and she'll tell you what to do.
Lovely.
All right.
Bye.
Tess, have a good day. Thanks again. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Bye.